the same people that demanded compassion from President Trump. Really? Where's your example? Where's the compassion for children, a 4-year-old, a 12-year-old? And by the way, was it going to happen? What's ever going to happen to Peter Fonda or the person that threatened Kirsten Nielsen or Don Jr.'s son? And by the way, what would the media be doing if this was the children of Barack Obama? You don't think there's a double standard? Now, despite all this vile, all this hatred, all this insanity, the president is still ready, willing, and able, and eager, actually, to address what is Congress's broken immigration system. It's not his system. It's not his laws. He wants to work with Republicans and Democrats alike. He wants to solve the problem. He's willing to give on DACA. He's willing to give on separation of kids. He's already tried to clean up their mess, by the way, caused by Obama and Clinton because they never did their job. And just months away from the midterms, what is this? Democrats would rather use the issue to divide you, the American people, raise money and win votes. By the way, it's a typical election year for them. It's all political. And here's what the president had to say about all this earlier today. Take a look.
My administration is also acting swiftly to address the illegal immigration crisis on the southern border. Loopholes in our immigration laws, all supported by extremist, open-border Democrats. And that's what they are. They're extremist, open-border Democrats. If you look at Nancy Pelosi, you look at Chuck Schumer, you'll see tapes where they wanted to have borders. They needed borders for security. Just a short while ago, a number of years ago, I see Chuck Schumer, we must have borders. Hillary Clinton, we must have borders. If people penetrate our borders, we must get them out of our country. Now, all of a sudden, they're big open border people. It's a whole big con job. In the meantime, people are suffering because of the Democrats. So we've created, and they've let it happen, a massive child smuggling industry. It's exactly what it's become.
What he's doing with zero tolerance, and that applies to those seeking amnesty, so undermines who we are as a country.
Their alteration of the policy today didn't end their heartlessness.
So the administration was perfectly comfortable with separating parents from their kids as long as it put pressure on the Congress to build the president's wall.
Of course, it was a crisis that he created and attempted to address today, but he didn't go anywhere near far enough.
This will be a dark moment in America's history. To put these children in steel cages like internment camps is something people will never forget, and it was Donald J. Trump.
The president was right to stop that policy, but let's not give him a medal for starting the fire and then bringing the fire hose. This could lead to family internment camps.
These people are insane. By the way, Barack Hussein Obama, that's what he did, and we have the evidence. Remember, it's Senate Democrats. They're the ones that actually stand in the way of a real immigration system getting fixed. And by the way, standing in the way of a fully funded, fully constructed border wall, standing in the way of merit-based immigration system, standing in the way of fixing what is happening at the southern border. You care about the opioid crisis? You care about people that don't love America coming into our country? Instead of fixing America's problems, instead of really helping people and solving problems and helping immigrants, Democrats would rather demagogue, win a midterm election, impose their horrible agenda on the American people, which includes, by the way, 4 points. One, they're not going to tell you. They told people like Maxine Waters, don't say it. Don't say it, but we're going to do it. Impeach President Trump. Number two, they want to keep Obamacare. You like your doctor? You like your care? You like your hospitals? Oh, that's right. Forget that. And you pay less? Number three, they want, Nancy Pelosi said she wants her crumbs back. Remember, she said the tax cuts were crumbs. She wants it back. And number four, they're open borders, as you can see. Now, the Democrats, by the way, they're not acting alone. Their greatest ally is the mainstream media. They're basically the press office for the Democratic Party, and they're backing them up every step of the way. Just look at how abusively, insanely biased your press is as they cover President Trump after he did what Obama never did. He solved the problem, signed an executive order that probably isn't going to hold muster in any courtroom. Take a look.
Just because the arsonist comes back and throws a bucket of water in the fire doesn't mean that they didn't start the fire in the first place.
It will leave an indelible stain upon the presidency.
Either that they are morally callous about this or that they are incompetent about this.
This is something that Erdogan would do. This is something that Putin would do.
Thanks to this new order, instead of being separated, families from other countries will be locked up together, hopefully starting with his.
Immigrants, people come to this country, are vermin. That's what he was saying. It's the language of white nationalist, European splinter, hard right, crazy town parties.
The combination of both white nationalist racism making the policy and complete and total incompetence.
They were all silent when Obama did the same thing. Wow, it's enough to make you want to, well, you know why it's not frustrating? Maybe that's why we have about 4 viewers to their 1, because people know they're a bunch of liars.
So we've created 3.4 million new jobs since Election Day. 3.4. And I've said before, if I would have said that to you during the campaign, those very dishonest people back there, the fake news, very dishonest, they would have said he's exaggerating. There is no amount of money or personnel in the world to address the crisis. Very serious crisis. Been going on so long. This isn't Trump administration. You look back at 2014 during the Obama administration, they have pictures that were so bad. They had a judge that said it was inhumane the way they were treating children. Take a look at some of the court rulings against the Obama administration. They talked about inhumane treatment. I read them. I looked at them. They're all over the place. Inhumane treatment. They were treating them terribly.
There are those in the immigrants' rights community who have argued passionately that we should simply provide those who are illegally with legal status, or at least ignore the laws on the books. But I believe such an indiscriminate approach would be both unwise and unfair. When I talk to immigration advocates, you know, they wish I could just bypass Congress and change the law myself. But that's not how democracy works. Believe me, the idea of doing things on my own is very tempting. I promise you, not just on immigration reform. But that's not how our system works.
I'm the President of the United States. I'm not the Emperor of the United States. My job is to execute laws that are passed.
And take a look at this stunning admission from Obama's Homeland Security Secretary. Pretty interesting.
In 2014, to deal with the spike then with the families, we did a number of things, including, by the way, working with the government of Mexico and obtaining their cooperation on securing their southern border. But we also expanded family detention, which was, I freely admit, controversial.
And you got a lot of heat for it.
We got a lot of heat for it.
The hypocrisy, the double standard is just unbelievable. And as I said earlier, this is all politics. It's now the political season. We get it every 2 and 4 years.